Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be about the winter storm that is going to be occurring across, at this point, most likely not the Northeast. And that is a bit of a bummer, guys. But, I mean, again, there's still quite a bit of winter left. Most likely New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, not getting the brunt of this. However, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, all those states are going to get impacted by the snow. So come on, let's just go through this and let's just see why and what's going to happen. Before we get into this video, if you'd like to support this channel, you could do so by subscribing to my channel. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button down below. And sorry if I keep turning around, that is because I'm downstairs and my cat is down here. So let's just jump right into this. We are right now in the GFS model, Global Forecasting System. It is not very well seen by many people. Many people don't like it. As you can see by the 540 line, the thickness line, we are seeing a mediocre Arctic shot of air, basically a little tiny plunge of air. And we will see that this air will produce quite a bit of lake effect across Michigan, Indiana, UP of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and into upstate New York. Now, we are seeing a system leaving quite a bit of snow in upstate New York. Again, heavy lake effect. But then this is where the real game jumps in. So we start seeing a system jumping out from the south, from Mexico, crossing the Mexican border into Texas and into Oklahoma. We go through it. It's actually taking a fairly further southern track, but the expanse of its snow will be all the way in Wisconsin. So it's a fairly large storm. There is enough cold air to produce snow with this, unlike many other systems that have been absolutely almost completely rain. So at this point, it is taking a little bit further southern track than expected. But all I'm saying, guys, the Northeast still can get impacted by this. You can see the latest GFS is showing some snow for New York. Now, whether this, let me draw this out for you. So we have the greatest confidence in the track somewhere through here, going like this, maybe doing, here I would say given a 50-mile span of error. But then at this point, it could either hug the East Coast, producing quite a bit of snow across Massachusetts, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, or it can be going just, which at this point most of the models are saying just something like this, and this will not produce much snow for the Northeast, but produce much snow for these areas in between. And these snowfall totals will be fairly significant, as this system will have quite a bit to work with. So we did have an internet outage, so I apologize if it's a little bit weird edit in here. Just right before this, our internet went out for some reason. But going back to where I was talking about, so the GFS is fairly vigorous with these snowfall amounts. You could see maybe up to half a foot, and even more in the Appalachian Mountains. Sorry about that. In Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia, and North Carolina. Also, we will be looking at a high pressure. The reason why the snow is almost so far to the south as northeast Atlanta, we will have a high pressure. It's fairly strong and dominant, high and in charge. It will be spinning like this, it spins clockwise. All high pressure spin clockwise, unlike low pressures, which spin counterclockwise. This will be spinning clockwise, and we see that it spins off like this and brings a cold air in like that. Again, probably this is not a good representation of this, but you get what I mean. It's spinning the air all the way into a funnel between the mountains and the coast, and that's why there's so much snow right here. That's why the snow amounts are so great for these areas in Virginia and West Virginia, due to the fact that there will be cold air with plentiful of moisture. And let's go to the NAM now. The NAM is even more vigorous in snowfall amounts, which has me a little bit on on the skeptical side. I just don't think the NAM 12KM is doing a great job with this system. I do think it's thinking there's more cold air than there actually will be. So we're going through this, and this is again NAM 12KM, near surface reflectivity, and MSLP, which is mean surface sea level pressure. Sorry about that. Mean sea level pressure. and that's given off by those those little numbers you see right there, 10, 24, 10. Doesn't show us the 540 line, but does give us the pressure. We have a fairly low pressure, and it's showing quite a bit of snow fairly up to the north, unlike the GFS, which is showing much lighter amounts to the north. And a word of caution right here, the NAM, or a word of, I don't really know, just advice, I guess, to say this NAM is not even done with the storm. It's only has its in sitting in central Arkansas right now, or western Arkansas. So several more inches would still pile onto this. But look at some of these amounts already up to a foot in some of these areas. And whether or not the NAM takes the model and takes the storm and takes it up the east coast into the northeast, or what it does with like the other models, and just makes a beeline across Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and just crosses out into the Atlantic Ocean. That is hard to say. Again, what I like to say is that the NAM has a very, I think I've said this in my previous videos. If you haven't heard me say this, and I'll say it now again, I really like the NAM across the East Coast, and we haven't had very many storms last year. Winter Storm Grayson was one example. Winter Storm Benji, if anyone remembers that, these are the Weather Channel names. These were winter storms that the NAM had the best handle on, and it was the first one to catch on to major changes that the other models did not catch on to. So if the NAM shows quite a big storm for the Northeast, that increases your chances by quite a bit. Also, the European model has been fairly vigorous with the amounts as well. Not necessarily for the Northeast, however. So sorry if if you're bummed out about that. But let's go to the next 5 days where the storm will be occurring. Let's just go next. No, let's do the next 5 days, and we are looking at around St. Louis area, almost over half a foot of snow, 7-9 inches of snow. The Missouri area, northern Arkansas, around 8 inches. Southern Indiana, Evansville area, right there in 5-6 inches potentially. Again, this is just one model. This is not necessarily a complete showing of what it's going to happen. Paducah, Kentucky, around almost 8 inches, 9 inches, and then the amounts wither down as we move on further. Other than those, if we go 10 days out, there's a couple of extra inches of snow in here from different system, but most of this is from that first system, which I showed you. The GFS and the NAM, or GFS and a European model, have quite a bit of agreement about some heavy snow in Virginia and West Virginia. So let's quickly go to the temperatures. Now let's just check this out. So let's go to 2-meter temperature shaded, and let's see what is going on here. So these temperatures won't be bitterly cold. They will be marginal, basically, just cold enough to produce snow. As we go through here, we could see this is around a time frame where the storm will be getting its act together, and here it is pushing its way through in here during the day, producing. But you can see Friday into Saturday, it really starts to Friday and Saturday and in Thursday. I would say those are the 3 main days of the growth of this storm. The storm goes through Texas, Oklahoma, gets into Arkansas, and right here you can see cold temperatures enough for snow, but are they actually cold for January? Not necessarily. Maybe cold compared to what we have been getting, but this isn't record-breaking by far. After that, we could get another cool shot, but nothing really cold at this point. The Northeast staying chilly, and whether or not the snow really goes and moves on into the Northeast, or I should say the storm moves on to the Northeast and produces snow there, is still a tough call. That's just like probably the least area, of confidence that I have at this point, the Northeast. And I know, guys, I feel you. You really want that snow, and I'm telling you guys, we here in Chicago, we're running above average for snow. The only reason for that is we had one 10-inch snowstorm in November, and ever since then we've gotten 2 inches. So it's really, most of the nation is fairly in a snow drought. I got one person commenting yesterday, hope to be a wheat, not a tear, said that snow drought is a funny term, and it is, I agree. But it's still, many areas are in a snow drought. Maybe that's not necessarily, it makes sense because many people don't like snow, but at the same time, it seems more and more people are starting to like snow. And across the West, there has been quite a bit, but across the East, there hasn't just been a lot of snow. So let's just go to the let's go check out some other models. Let's go to this Canadian model. Let's check out what it does with this system. And let's check out MSLP, precip, and frozen. And I guess we're on total snowfall. Unless this loads. No, we're on total snowfall. So let's just go through this, what it has to say. It does not have it going up the northeast. And the Canadian, we have been examining it, or I have been examining it for the past couple of systems, and it tends to always want to bring the storms into the northeast, and it's not doing that now. And it seems like a situation where it would be, because it's split half and half. Some models, it's a controversial thing now, putting the snow in the northeast. Some models are showing it to be snowfall in the northeast. Some are not. But the Canadian favors the northeast when it comes to these type of situations. But at this point, still the heavy snow in Missouri, Illinois, southern Indiana, not that much, guys, for the northeast. The mid-Atlantic potentially as well. Let's go to the FV3 GFS. I should have probably showed you this at the very beginning. I'm recording, and I like this model more than the GFS. And look at that, guys. Potentially snow for the northeast. So that's what I'm saying. There's still a possibility with this, for sure. There's still a chance that this system can make its way up into the northeast, but I'm just saying that chances are diminishing. You can see the FV3 GFS does not have the snow as far to the north as the other models, but it's taking that track, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, up and hugging the east coast, producing decent snowfall amounts across the northeast in those snow-stricken areas. I mean, I think Boston has seen legit under an inch of snow, which is just hard to think of, because Boston sees more snow than many areas that have seen snow more than it this year, if that makes any sense. So they really need the snow. At least they would like to see the snow, and the FE3 GFS is the most favorable at this point, so you're hoping that this one would be right. The European at this point is not favoring it. Even the GFS, this ensemble of the GFS is, but the parallel, I should rather say, but not really the GFS itself. And you can see amounts up to 9-10 inches with this, if this were to occur. So that is basically it for today's video. Just wanted to give you a quick update. And by the way, this was pre-recorded on Tuesday, and this will be uploaded Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.